Hello everyone, welcome back to ELD Stitches YouTube channel. Thank you for your support. For those that have not channel, please subscribe, like, share, comment. So we are back today to do our usual business. So the tutorial that we are going to take today is on a ruffle gown. The gown we have ruffle that we start from the waistline, then we cut across the knee line. And this gown is not going to have a joining at the half length. I'm going to cut it straight. There will not be any joining at the half length. So let's get to the cutting table. Okay, I've already marked out some. I will explain what I did. I folded my fabrics. I used the highest body circumference with my hip measurement. Then I added 2 inches to it. So that is what I use for my folding. So my highest body measurement is 50. My hip is 50 inches. When I divide it by 4, it will give me 12.5. And when I add 2 inches, it will be 14.5. And here I have 15.5. So it's okay. So now I've gotten my bust point of 11 inches. I mark it at 11.5. My waist is 17 inches. I marked 17.5. The half is for the joining up here. Then my hip is 20 inches. I also added half. Then the length of the dress is 39 inches. So now I'm going to start by getting my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 8.5. Then I'll add 1 to it to make it. I will add half inch, 8.5 inches. I'll add half inch to make it 9. So at this point now, I will come down by 1 inch for my slope. That is here. From this 1 inch, you will get. I got my armhole of 8.5 inches. That's this point. I want to make sure that my shoulder here is 9 inches. So I have to get 9 inches here also for the armhole. So I have to put the armhole. So the next thing I will do now is to curve my armhole. My armhole is 8.5 inches. To get the meat of this 8.5 inches is 4.25. So this is my 4.25. And this 4.25 for the front armhole, I will do by half an inch here. So I will connect it. Also from this, also I'll connect it on my front armhole, while here from here I'll connect that for my back armhole. So now I'm going to input my body. So the bust I'm working with is bust of 42 inches. So 42 inches divided by 4 is 10.5. So I'm going to input 2 inches seam allowance. That will be 12.5. So this is my 12.5 here. The waist I'm working with is 40. Divided by 4 is 10 inches. 40 inches divided by 4 is 10 inches. So I'll put in 2 inches seam allowance and 1 inch for that. That will be 3 inches. So that will give me 13 inches. So this is my 13 inches here. The hip I'm working with is hip 50. Divided by 4 is 12.5 inches. So I will put in 2 inches allowance. That will be 14.5 inches. So So the 14, I have 14.5 inches, and I'm going to minus 1.5 inch from the 14.5. It will give me 13 inches for my, this my hemline. What I'll put here now is 13 inches because I want it to be penciled down. So I'm going to connect the points now. Connect from this point. I'll connect to my 13 inches here. Then I'll connect to my waist this way. So this is my measurements now. So now to decide where the opening of my ruffle will start, I have to, at this my hip line now, I'm taking 6 inches. You can take 4, you can take 3, you can take 5. It's a matter of choice. So I'm taking 6 inches. So from this 6 inches point is where my ruffle opening will start. So I'm going to cut this out now. The neck width I'm taking is 5 inches for the front. With this measurement in front, I'm taking 5 inches. Then the neck depth I'm taking is 3 inches for my neck depth. 2.5. Let me go for 2.5. I'm taking 2.5. So I'm connecting it now. I want to bold the chalk and be able to see what I'm doing. So from this my neck width now, I will connect to form my slope. So this is it. So now I'm going to cut out my gun. The armhole, I'm cutting out the back armhole now. Since I'm using it, I will use this to cut my back. When I'm done cutting the back, I will trim up the front armhole. So this is what I have in front now. So I'm going to notch this point. I want my opening to start from. I'm going to notch it. Then open up my thumb this way. Remember, you have to decide where you want your ruffle to be. So my ruffle will be on my right side. So this point, I'm going to curve this point to meet here. Now, make a curve from here now to meet my that there. So just made a little curve to this place. You have to blend it so that it will enter very well. So that means I'm going to cut this off now. So see the asymmetric has come now. So this is what I have now. I will use this now to cut out my back. I've shaped the front armhole. I've cut the front armhole now. So I'm going to use this now to cut out my lining because I'm going to line this dress. Okay, I'm done cutting the back now. You can see the zipper allowance here. So now I use the longer side of my foot to cut the back. So what I'm going to do now is I will use my gather stitch, my loose stitch to join the zipper allowance together. Then I will open it up and now shape it so that it will be like the front also. I've run my loose stitch now. So what I'm going to do now, first open my seam allowance, my zip allowance, then I will open the right side. This is the right side of this dress now. So I'll bring the front. I will place it side by side, right side facing each other this way. I will arrange it and make sure that they are aligned well. Okay, this is what I have now. So I want to push it forward. You see, I have to trim off this now so that the back and the front will have the same shape. So that's what I'm going to do now. I want to give both the back and the front, they now have the same shape. You see it? So the next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to sew my neckline with my lining. I'll sew my neckline, both the front and the back. I will lose this loose stitch, and I'm going to lose it because I'm going to sew the neckline separately. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I'm done stitching the neckline now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to notch it. To notch it this way. When you are doing this, you have to be very careful. I'm going to do the same thing to all. Okay, I'm done notching it. So I'm going to top stitch it now. What I will turn it this way. I'll make sure that this seam allowance here is on the lining side. Then I will run a stitch on it to top stitch it. Okay, you can see I'm done joining the sides. So I've also joined it here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it to the right side. So I've turned it now to the right side. So now it's time for us to insert our dart because it has to have that. So this is my center line now. So the bust span measurement I'm working with is a bust span measurement of 9 inches. So 9 divided by 2 will give me 4.5. So I have to add half to it. That is 5. First, I have to detect where my half length is. This is my half length, 17 inches. So it's at this 17 inches now that I have to take my 5 inches. This is my 5 inches here. So, and this is my 4.5 here. So this half here is for my dart intake. So I will also take half on this side. So this is my dart line and this is my dart leg. So now I have to, from this 17 inches, I have to also indicate where my bust point line is. This is my bust point line of 11 inches. So I have to come down by half. And this half is where my dart will stop. Then my hip line is 26 inches, which is here. So my dart will also stop at 2 inches before my hip line. So now I have to do the connection. So this is our dart. Now I've connected it. This is 5.5 inches below my bust point, and this is my hip line, though 2 inches before the hip line. That's where it stopped. I took 1/2 inch on both sides on the half length. So I'm going to repeat this same thing on this side and also at the back, and then I will now sew my dart. I'm done sewing my dart. You can see it in all. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix my zipper. So I've already marked out my zipper allowance. So I'm going to fix it on these two back pattern. So I'll fix when I'm done fixing my zip. So the next thing I will do now when I'm done fixing my zip is to cut my ruffle. And what I will be using for my ruffle is this net. This is the net I'll be using for my ruffle. So this net I have here is about 5 years. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it like the way we fold our wrapper. See it? This is the two widths. I've brought it together and fold. I've also folded it again. It's the length I'm folding, and I have this. So I will also fold it again this. Then I will have something like this. So I'm going to arrange it now. So I'm done folding it. This is what I have now. So I have to measure the length of my ruffle. The length of the ruffle I want to put, I can go with, let me go with 11 inches. So I have to mark the 11 inches now. I'm marking out the 11 inches. I hope you are seeing the marking. I'm bolding it. So this is my 11 inches now. So I'm going to cut it out. So you know that this ruffle is going to be on both the front and the back. So this is for the front. So I'm going to cut another one for the back. So I have to place it on this my folded ruffle and cut out the second one. If you want it to be very full, you can do more than once. You can put two, depending on the how full you want it to be. But I'm okay with this. So I'm using for my front and this for my back. So I'm going to run another stitch on it, or I can use my needle with a matching thread to gather it. Okay, I'm done running the gather. I use hand needle to do the gather. So I'll distribute it evenly now. I have two here, one for front, one for the back. Okay, what I have here is about 41 inches. Measure. 41 inches is what. So I'll put this aside now. So what I'm going to do now, this my foot is going to start from my, and this place is my waistline. So it's from this way, it will give me 149 inches. So I have to still adjust my ruffle. So what I'm going to do now, when I'm done adjusting it to 39, I will shape this my clothes. I have to know my waist was 42 divided by 2 will give me 20, but I'm having 22 here, so I'm going to sew at half inch. This is my waistline. So was 50 and I'm having 56 and I have 26 and half. It's supposed to be 2 and half. Now I have to share it into 2. So that is the allowance that we use now to sew my ruffle. And I want to show you how I will place my ruffle. See the way it is, it's facing me. So it has to start from somewhere here. We sew with allowance this way, this way. This is the way I will sew it. Sew it. Sew it like I said, I'm going to add remaining 2 inches here. So I will also go to the back. The ruffle. This is for the back. So what I'm going to do next now is I'm going to put it right side facing each other to sew the shoulder. This way, make sure that it's aligned together. Then I will turn this to this side. I will arrange them very well this way. Then I sew. I will do same to this side. Then once I'm done sewing the shoulder together, I will use my seam allowance to sew from my shoulder to this point. But before I sew, I'll make sure that the ruffles will be inside. They will be inside this way. I will arrange them. Then I will not put this. I'll make sure that they are aligned together. And when I'm sewing, you have to be careful. You very well and sew on the same stitch line. You make sure you arrange the edge, as in this seam allowance of the ruffles very well, so that it will not appear on the right side. You see what I did now? I see it. Now sew on this same stitch line till this point for this side to my shoulder. Then on this side also shape with my seam allowance till this one now will get to the down where well here. Align them together this way and sew from the shoulder this way to this point. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm done shaping our gown and also joining the shoulder. I've also gone ahead to fix my sleeve. The sleeve I have here is a flutter sleeve. So if you don't know how to make a flutter sleeve, I'm going to put the link on the description box, the link of how to make a flutter sleeve, so that you'll be able to watch how to make this beautiful sleeve. So this is the outcome of our ruffle gown. You can see the ruffle on the side. It runs through the knee line. You can give it a trial. This is the end of this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, please don't fail to subscribe and to support my channel, and also put on that notification bell so that when I upload a new video, you'll be notified about it. Thank you for your support. Bye.